Okay. And at the same time, I'll relate the research that I did, and also that I think I might have been spotted.
Do you expect any kind of retaliation?
And Seeker shrugs. I'm sure I can come up with some sort of excuse. Either he isn't the flying pig, and then we don't really have much to worry about. He seemed to take a distaste for fiends last time we spoke to him. And worst comes to worst, we can just explain to him the truth. Or he is the flying pig, and then he was already watching out for us anyway.
What about... So do we think, or who of the candidates do we think are potentially this flying pig? Because
Do you want to run down our research that you did?
Okay. So I looked through a list of all the fiends. I threw out everything that was large or gargantuan. That was a significant number of them. I threw out everything that had an intelligence score of less than 8, because, I don't think a Barghest is going to be the flying pig. I threw out the demons because of just that's got more to do with Brick Road's general view on demons. Basically I kind of put anything that was a shapeshifter to the side. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a shapeshifter. It just means that they're not using their shapeshifting from what the information we got, correct?
Well, yeah, but I'm with you that I think if something is a shapeshifter, it's going to tend to rely on shapeshifting, so it's fair to put them aside.
So basically I got 4 specific things that in mind that can theoretically blend into society.
Okay.
You have Cambions because they just look like winged tieflings.
Okay.
Rakshasas because they could probably say, "Oh, I'm a tabaxi." You know what a tabaxi is? No? Well, ta-da. Arcanoloths because what were those people that you met? Destil over in that city that gave you that coin? They were jackal men, weren't they?
City that gave me the coin?
The GIF?
No, not the GIF.
Or the GIF or Hippo Men.
Yeah, the gift gave
they
the
were
coin
Hippo
as well.
The GIF gave me
Yeah.
the coin.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, right, gotcha. Hippo man. I don't know if there's some kind of common like jackal man race, but an Arcanoloth, of course. There is also to take into consideration that Brickroad really likes Arcanoloths.
Okay. What was our number 4?
Night Hags. And Night Hag came particularly stood out to me because if you read their section in Volo's guide, first of all, they're one of only 2 things that I saw that are actually in both books. The other one is the Tarkuth, is that what they're called? The demon orc hybrid. But they're like chaotic evil, and the book describes them as living in a constant murderous haze. I don't think that's going to be.
So Night Hags are shapeshifters, though.
They have the ability to polymorph themselves into the form of a young girl, yes, but they don't have the shapeshifter tag. But they have the ability to polymorph themselves. But everything else, literally screams Night Hag to me. And so that's why I was confused. Plus, there's also the thing of I'm not sure who we could reasonably say is a Night Hag. Night Hags are kind of,
The problem with that I see is polymorph is magic, and magic is susceptible to being detected. Yes.
Right. I mean, the whole idea is that it's someone who's not using magic for that.
Right.
Also, can you run me down the list real quick again? Because I heard Rakshasa, Arcanoloth, Night Hag, Cambion. That's right.
Could an Ultraloth, they're probably a little too monstrous. Some other stuff was the Arrhenius.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Wasn't that?
The Arrhenius, but I don't know a whole lot about them. Maybe a bearded devil would be hilarious, but I doubt that. Maybe the chain devil would also be hilarious, but again, I doubt that.
No, not if they're working out in the open. I can't see that being a thing.
But the Cambion and the Arrhenius, we could kind of ask about at the same time because they're both
They're both winged, right?
They're both
They're
winged,
both humanoid
humanoid.
in appearance, though.
right?
Right in appearance, but being winged is their big standing out point.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this for nothing. Seeing a winged person walking down the streets of Dunfoss would be incredibly noticeable. There are
Okay.
no naturally winged races in or around. You can assume that there probably are speaking peoples with wings somewhere. There are Aarakocra out there in the mountains somewhere, but they do not live within the walls of Dunfoss. Just to reiterate who does live here, it's a population of about 120,000. The population is about 10 parts human, 1 part each of dwarf, half-elf, halfling, and gnome, and then 1 part combined of everything else, which accounts for elf, tiefling, Azamar, half-orc, triton, Goliath, Firbolg, Earth Genasi, and Githzerai. None of which are naturally winged.
Yeah, so we could probably like strike out the winged creatures, which brings us back to Arcanoloth, Rakshasa, and Night Hag. Again, the Night Hag, like the Night Hags could be living under, because they're blue, but they're not as monstrous as, according to that, they're not nearly as monstrous looking as the rest of the hags, according to Volos. But so that's why I didn't throw them off of the pile.
But
Again, like nothing that I went through like particularly stuck out to me to match. So that's why I wanted to talk to.
Yeah, like, I'm kind of with Nodal that I feel like by process of elimination, the Rakshasa is the closest thing we've got at the moment. Unless we genuinely suspect that one of the tieflings is somehow actually
A Cambion.
a full-blooded demon.
Yeah.
Just somehow missing.
A question: what color is Journey?
What color is she?
Yeah,
I have
like
no
because
idea.
it says the Cambions are almost always red. That's why.
Does she have a beard?
Does she have a
does
beard?
not
Yes.
have a beard, no. I don't know. What color are tieflings usually?
Anywhere from blue to purple to regular skin color to
Tiefling colored.
yeah, they're like every
what-
color of the rainbow. I
what
think.
color is Lucius?
He's red-skinned.
Redskin?
Is Lucius a Cambion?
No, it's just, I'm told it's just called Washington Football Team now.
I was gonna make that joke too. Damn it!
Gotta be quicker. Gotta be quicker.
Gotta be faster.
Ooh,
Okay, so I will say that Journey will say that she's purple, with the understanding that if you ask me 3 weeks from now, I might have forgotten and may say something different.
All right, that's fine. She has the ability to change her skin color on whim.
No, that's ferocity.
Journey is secretly related to ferocity.
Okay, so what's next?
I just was wondering what everybody else thinks. Like,
that
I could
does tend-
going from the picture as presented. This I'm all like I didn't look anything else up on the internet, just the 2 books, because I didn't want to like taint what I know. Like, there's a lot of like. Going from what they say in the in Volos, I think that a Night Hag could pass as a tiefling. They have horns. They're just ugly. Just like ugly tiefling. But again, I don't know of any NPCs we've met that meet any of these requirements other than possibly the Rakshasa and the Smoke Den guy.
Warlock's Bane is a tiefling, right?
No, she is a
No, she's a Firbolg.
Firbolg, yes.
Firbolg.
She's a
Like,
dirty Earth lady.
Everybody else is either all the other races are too monstrous, I think, to even like go through. You know,
You would hear about it if one of them
Yeah.
walks through the gates.
they would probably get lynched.
And it sounds like all the winged ones are off the table.
Yeah.
So, Night Hag or Rakshasa?
Rockshot.
Like,
So how many? Do we know any other Tabashi in the city?
It's very likely that Savat is the only one that lives in Dunfoss.
Okay.
So, what was that book that Savat asked for? Do you remember?
It was a story. Wasn't it like
Didn't it have something to do with Tabashi?
Yeah, I think it did.
Do we still have one copy of that technically?
No, well, we have one of the fake.
We have a copy
copies.
that's very difficult to tell the difference from,
Yeah.
but it's not like it won't have the exact information that he was looking for. But if we just want to know what kind of information there is in there, that could maybe be useful. Maybe it'll talk somewhere in there about how you can tell something is not a Tabashi.
Right.
And that it will have the wrong information, but it will at least know the text was interested in that fact.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Break it out. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll pull that book out. What is I don't even remember the title of this book. I don't even know. Like
It
asking
was a
for-
book that we were like taking from like.
Yeah, there was 3
I remember
copies.
this-
Yeah.
Lucius had to pick one up from Telesmus Abbott, and he walked in and out of it. He got it for a smile and a wink.
I paid for mine like a good boy.
Like a good boy.
And mine just appeared. I don't know how.
So what information are you trying to find in this book?
Just the general. What is it about?
Yeah, what is the interest of the book?
Like, what's the subject of the book?
Oh, I have no idea. This was many, many sessions ago.
Okay. So we know generally it's about Tabashi.
I remember it was a large book with very dense information, but I don't have the specific information down here.
Okay.
Then we could probably assume it's not important to the mystery.
You can probably assume that, yes. If it was about Tabashi, it would confirm a lot of the things that I had told Seeker earlier.
Mhm.
And it's probably mixed in with a lot of fantasy and myth. It'd be difficult to discern, like it wouldn't be like a biological text. More of like a preliminary explorer's text, maybe.
Okay.
Looking at this information you found, I'm looking at the monster manuals.
Uh-huh.
We better hope it's a night hag. 'Cause Rakshasa seems like a real bad time for us.
So does
Yeah.
the night hags. Night hags are terrifying. Another reason the night hag like crossed my mind is it specifically says they love to make deals with people. Of course, all fiends really do, but they love to make deals with people to get them to kind of like twist their dreams around, to get them
Yeah.
to do evil in pursuit of their dreams.
Yeah, all
So
of their
that they-
powers seem dream-based.
Yeah, which is what the letters everybody's been sending out. The letters.
Night hag seems very strong.
So
Yeah, you say that now. That starts to make sense.
so that it can steal their souls, and we've already stopped it from doing that to one potentially. Maybe we got a good feeling. But the problem is I don't know
Who could be a night hag?
who could be a night hag if that's the thing. So that leads me to like kind of step away from that.
Okay.
But
I
here's the thing
think-
is we haven't. We've met a few of these people face to face. We've met people like Sigurd Tencels. We've met people like Journey face to face. But the one of the people that we have not met face to face, Joni Fletcher herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I see here it mentions that they have a couple of things that a night hag is very associated with. They have a heartstone and they have this soul bag. Maybe I should start using my scrying to look for these things.
Is that the plan?
Surreptitiously.
The one thing that I was thinking about, like in specific about the night hags, is like it says in their lairs, their lairs have additional like effects, like where shadow, like their presence affects things like shadows, and people have like hallucinations and things like that. And is there anything like that going on in the city that we're aware of?
Not aside from Savad's smoke.
So
Savad is a night hag.
I have a
solid.
second idea, but we're gonna need to, if we want to like test for sure if someone's a night hag.
Mhm.
I have a really good idea, but we're gonna owe someone a favor.
There's a lot of someone's in that sentence. Can you make it up a bit?
So it says here that a night hag can intrude on someone's dreams, and if they have, if someone has the ability to see the true nature of things, if they have true sight, you can see the form of the night hag straddling their prey. We have an object in our possession which will cause someone's dreams to be invaded by the flying pig. That's our first. That's our first risk.
Well, oh yeah, we do have one more block of that wax, don't we? I could do
We
that
do.
again.
Second risk.
Alexander, you did that.
Yeah.
I happen to know somebody who has a crystal ball which lets them see truly. I don't know if it's actually a crystal ball of true sight, but I have suspicions because they seem to find it very, very valuable.
Also, that might be why Savad took it.
Well, now you're starting to say Savad's a night hag.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like in terms of him being a Rakshasa.
Sure. If
Yeah.
we're willing to bring someone else into this, we could talk to Caitlin Chubb and see if she's willing to investigate whether, or lend us her ball to investigate whether we will see a night hag if someone's dreams are invaded.
Nodal seems
And
very
we're all-
confident that Caitlin Chubb is not a night hag.
we are kind of on the outs of Caitlin Chubb because of that whole deal with Gustavus and the legal matter.
Seeker waves his hands. He says, Caitlin Chubb's a deal maker. If we make her an offer and it's good enough, she'll agree to it.
Mm-hmm. We could. So, what do we know about the Flying Pig's actual operations in town? Like, when did the letter started only appearing a few months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody in town we've met that has only been in town a few months?
You mean amongst those who have received letters?
Yes.
You know that at one point he must have tried to contact Sigurd Tensails before he arrived in town.
I doubt Sigurd Tensails is a night hag.
Sigurd Tensails did get contacted by an agent, at the very least, and gave him those horses that turned out to be not horses. Lucius looks at Seeker a little embarrassedly.
I'm sorry, I missed the last bit of that sentence.
Oh, is those horses that Sigurd Tensails received, turned out to not be horses.
Oh,
Lucius is like, oh right, yeah, that one of those situations where Seeker died.
The 5d12 slashing damage.
yeah. There was a
Yeah.
lot. It was a real problem.
10d12 to that boy.
Right.
Oof.
Oh, that's right.
She said crit, yeah.
So the plan
that-
is to go to Caitlin Chubb, who it's very unfortunate that she's becoming more and more of a prominent NPC because that name is that's an NPC who should have just faded away.
It was inevitable once she got that name.
Listen, you only have one. You have one website to blame.
We have two questions, but really that's one question, which is, does she have the ability to either grant or use like true sight? Because there are multiple ways she could. She's a diviner.
How does the
Do we-
locate person spell work?
And the next question I have, I think related to that, is what do we have to offer Caitlin Chubb?
She seems interested in favors. We can offer to do something for her.
Well, okay. You think we could potentially hire her to cast locate creature as well? Like, do you think we have enough information to describe the flying pig? We have that name that we were previously given that it introduced himself under. Which I'm trying to find. I have it. I wrote it down in. I'm in the wrong Discord.
You have the flying pig's name?
Yes, it was the name of the name he gave the judge, which was
Aednoth
Aednoth. Yeah.
was the name of a noble house in Dunfoss, who a long, long, long time ago was found guilty of devilry. Their practices were they were telling people, "Oh, we can take your maladies and put them inside of this pig, and then slaughter the pig, and you'll be healed."
Well, the reason I say that is like, can't we just like if we could talk Caitlin Chubb into just walking around town with us
So
with a locate creature spell up and just ask her to find a queen.
I think that's maybe if this first idea doesn't work, maybe that's where we could go with it, because then we would have more of an idea of like what kind of creature. The problems that I see with that, from what I gathered from the spell, is that first of all, the person who's looking for them has to have seen that creature before.
Mm.
And second, the problem is it just that 1,000-foot range. Like, I've looked for things with a 1,000-foot range in the past, and it's been less informative than you would hope.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next?
I think maybe we go see Caitlin Chubb, we offer her a favor, and we ask her if she has the capability to grant true sight. And then who's going to go into the dream?
I mean, can I even cast that on someone else?
Did we determine that only Alexander could do this ritual?
I don't recall that being.
Yeah, I don't
a thing.
recall that.
So whoever does the
Well,
ritual
I thi-
with
I
the
think it
sealing
was-
wax.
Because we learned it from the other alchemist, or the other alchemist, the one who did that errand to us to Blue.
Tom Wolf.
Tom Wolf, yeah. So he was an alchemist as well, and he reverse engineered it.
Like,
I'll say that now that you've reverse engineered it, anybody could actually do it. Anybody that
Okay.
actually has the know-how.
other people we could speak to is like I know the gentleman seemed like he knew something about their operations. We might reach out to Journey and see if she has managed to get any more information. She probably won't talk to us though, since she said she was going to continue her investigation through other means. If we don't think Journey is the flying pig,
We have more information than we had at the time. We could just do a swap with her. We just say, hey, listen, you're trying to do this for the city. We have more information. If we share our information with you, will you share yours with us?
mm-hmm. The gentleman will probably just want money or favors.
I don't think the gentleman's very useful. I think he'll take us for a ride and then give us nothing.
I mean, he's called the gentleman for a reason.
What's that reason?
He gives really good rides.
Oh, okay.
He's very gentle.
He's very gentle when he gives the rides. Now, I mean, you don't earn a name like the gentleman without like being,
Gentle.
yeah, without being like having some like kind of redeeming quality in that thing. Like he obviously keeps his promises because he let Gus go when like Gus was squared away. That's not something that.
The plan is then to go to Caitlin Chubb.
Yeah, Caitlin Chubb first.
So are you all going as a group?
I don't see any reason to exclude anyone who wants
Yeah,
to come.
no, it seems
Why
reasonable.
not?
I don't think I've met this one before.
Okay.
She's a halfling, right?
She's a halfling.
Yep.
And
Have something.
Like, you're going to complain about her name, but I fantasy name generator, female halfling names, Caitlin Chubb.
that's what came up.
I posted the picture.
I don't like. There are Chubbs at Bilbo's birthday party. This isn't weird.
And Proudfoots.
Proud feet.
Proud feet.
Thank you both. Caitlin seems none too happy when you all come stomping into her little shop. And she looks at Seeker and looks at the rest of you. And she says, "Should I consider the storefront closed for the afternoon?"
Depends on how the conversation goes. We we're looking into something and we need a specialist in your field.
She nods.
Yeah.
Wait, real quick, how much are we going to tell her? Like, are we going to become clean with her? Or like
So,
what we're looking for?
We've told people in the city that there is some sort of fiend causing havoc.
Right.
Like, we've become well known for it at this point. I think we just are fairly straight with her. We have reason to believe that the fiend is hiding within the city. We think it's disguised as some sort of creature, and we did research that determined that if it's this one particular source of creature, then we can prove that through using this method that we need her for. I think we tell her that.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay, and Seeker will go into it. They've been looking for this fiend. We did some research that insinuated that it could be a night hag, and if it was, if someone had the ability to provide true sight, then they would be able to determine that for fact through some means that we're currently using.
You're looking for
And-
a night hag in the city of Dunfoss. My boy. I know of a hag that lives in the city of Dunfoss. Forgive me if I've asked you this question before, Seeker.
Yeah.
But I would know it now of your companions as well. Would you be willing to break the Crown's laws in order to defend king and country?
I would be willing to break the Crown's laws to do the correct thing, the right thing. For sure.
Lucius nods.
There's no way to define the correct thing. Alex
Oh
just
my
sort of
God.
shrugs and says, I'm sure we can reinterpret whatever we need to do.
And there you have it, folks. Our party in a nutshell.
So everyone spouts their alignment.
She says, she knows of a hag in Dunfoss who is... She knows not what this woman is working at. To be very clear, when she says hag, she wants you all to know she's not just speaking of an old human crone.
Mm-hmm.
Hags are fey creatures. They draw their power. She describes the realm of the Feywild. A twisted form of magic from fairies and bizarre creatures of a multitude of shapes, all of which is known to be, if not malicious, detrimental to humanity. Hags are that form of magic with active malicious attitude. She says she had thought that Flumph Inc. was a group of detectives, and what this particular woman, well, not to dance around the issue, but what is needed here is a group of murderers.
Seeker says, when you say that she is a hag, what sort of abilities have you seen her presenting herself with? And Seeker will break out the monster manual that he brought to explain this. It says here that the type of hag we're looking for is the only one that classifies as a fiend, which is what we know we're looking for. So if she's some other sort of hag, it's possible that we have two hags in the city.
She says it's the nature of hags that it's possible we have many dozens of them. The one that she knows of, she's been very careful with her divination work so as not to be discovered. She knows that this woman walks the Feywild. And she knows that she wields powerful magic. And that the source of her magic, her spell focus, is a staff of petrified gray wood. She's not contacted the woman in dreams. She was actually... That's information she wouldn't share with you. Scratch that.
Okay.
She says that her secret identity, so to speak, is that of a pie shop, and she rattles off the name of a very well-known pie shop in the Northgates district that potentially one or more of you have eaten at.
Is it where the donuts came from?
No, it's not. When I say pie, I mean like meat pies.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Her family name is Heffine, and Heffine has been making pies since the days when King Juliana was a very, very young child. But she thinks that the last of the Heffine line has been murdered and had her position taken by this hag. To what end, she doesn't know. But you come to her speaking of hags, and she knows one in Dunfoss that potentially means harm to king and country.
How did you find out she was a hag?
She glances to Seeker and back at Gus and says, "If Seeker has not told you, I am a..." Well, how did Seeker put it? A specialist in divination magics.
You also said you were very careful around divining around her.
You have to be very careful. Anything that can be divined can be backtraced. All magic is detectable after a fashion.
Can you detect fiendish magic?
She asked what you mean by fiendish magic. Are you describing like the magic of warlocks?
No, I'm talking specifically about magic directly from a fiend. Although I guess that would qualify as warlock magic.
So I'm going to give you a kind of mechanical answer here, because this is kind of an all-purpose answer you can take. If you're flipping through the monster manual, and something says innate spellcasting,
Yeah.
that is a spellcasting feature that you get just from being that sort of creature. So if a fey creature has innate spellcasting, it would be fey magic. If a fiend has it, it could be fiendish magic. The problem is the detect magic spell and similar spells don't see that sort of thing. The other problem is there's nothing stopping, say, a hag from getting another spellcasting feature, the way, like, gaining wizard class levels. There's nothing, like, she'd get her innate spellcasting, but on top of that, she could get a magic book just like Seeker does.
Yeah.
So, unless you're aware of a spell, and I'm not, but unless you're aware of a spell that can determine the keyword of a creature, determine if it's fey or fiend or whatnot. I think Detect Evil and Good actually pings both.
It's detect stuff.
Detect Stuff. I think Detect Stuff is as close as it gets.
Mm-hmm. Does she know what kind of hag this woman is? Or did she say no already?
She doesn't know a lot of the specifics.
Mm-hmm.
Pieces of information that she does have, though, that she imagines could be very useful to one of your number, is she knows the woman's true name. She's taken the name Heffine. She's taken the name of the family, the name of the woman she supplanted, the old maid that runs the pie shop. But I know her real name, from whatever dark place in the Feywild she hails from.
How did you get her real name? That sounds like a fascinating story.
The Onomancy has a spell that does that, Extract Name, correct?
Yep.
Class feature.
It's a class feature, it's not even a spell, yeah.
Okay. You're asking her that? How did you get it?
Yeah.
She smiles. She says, "We're reaching the part of the conversation where we discuss payment for what I know."
And Seeker looks over at her and says, "I thought we were speaking of a favor for one another. You seem to have a hag problem and we have a hag problem."
She asks you if, as payment, for sharing this information, which came at great, no small expenditure of energy on her part. She would accept as payments a verbal contract that you will destroy this hag.
And Seeker raises a finger and says, if we're going to destroy this hag, part of the means we would need in order to do so would be whatever information you had. It wouldn't be payment. We would accept as payment your assistance in looking for this other hag.
I think we might also want to independently verify some of your information before we agree to this. Just a thought.
This is all getting very complicated. I know where the woman lives. I know her true name. I know that she must have designs on the crown. What I don't have is the means to dispatch her.
Why do you think? What has she done to make you think that she? Well, she's a hag. Never mind. I mean, specifically, what makes you think she's targeting the crown specifically? My understanding of hags just like sowing general disarray and misery. It's not so much that they're not what I would consider. What's the word I'm looking for? They don't like. They're not going to like want to take over the country of Dunfoss. So they're going to get in, cause as much mayhem as they can, and then cackle off into the distance.
Except for the hag you're looking for, of course. She is a true danger. The one taking over the city.
How does one take over a city from a pie shop?
I mean,
What's in the pie?
Have any of you eaten at this pie shop? Let's start there.
Where is it?
That's in Northgate's district.
Let me roll a die. I'll tell you. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Call it a 1 in 4 chance for Seeker.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Yes.
Alex has.
Yeah, Seeker has as well.
Florian has not.
Gus is not.
Lucius is not.
Lucius.
If we were talking about the smoke shop, the Rakshasa, that's what we're
Oh yeah, no. If it was the Rakshasa, yeah.
Meat pies are people.
She's a Soylent hag.
She seems disappointed that you're not jumping at this opportunity to defend king and country by removing a known evil from it.
No offense, Miss Chubb. Ma'am. But you are... How can I put this gently? Kind of shady? So,
She seems to have taken offense at the remark.
So I do want you to know that while I am inclined to investigate, going straight from like taking a person's word to go murder somebody is a little much. That's
Lucius clears his throat.
Basically, what Gus is trying to get across is that if we came to you and we said we knew of a hag, and we wanted you to go destroy them without any sort of independent verification, you would have questions. You would want to look into it yourself.
She says
other
that
words-
destroying hags is not the line of work she's in. She has neither the means nor resources to do that sort of thing.
Yes, but you must understand, we are not adventurers. We are investigators.
We want to do some investigation. And Seeker raises his hands and says, okay, I think we can agree that if we do have a hag in the city, if the information you gave us is true, we do need to find a means to deal with it. And we have dealt with similar problems in the past.
How have you dealt with these problems in the past?
we
Murder.
murder.
Investigate, then murder.
Yes.
We are not adventurers.
So we are people that you should be talking to deal with this problem. And we will look into it, and we will get back to you. Now, with regards to our problem, Are you not interested in the tales of a fiendish creature investigating, taking over the town, damaging king and country?
She says, with all due respect, she wouldn't say that. She doesn't owe you any sort of respect.
That's fair.
Listen here, you little
She
shit.
says, exactly. She says she thinks it's very unlikely that such a creature could be operating inside of the city that has escaped her notice, but not yours.
Do we?
We have bodies.
Right, and we have a very good source that I am unsure if I should tell you about, and I'm looking around. Like, let's just say we have a very, reliable source, a very scary source. Gus gets
When you're
kind
in
of
our line of work, you meet a lot of interesting people.
Yes.
Somebody go ahead and give me an insight check.
I have
Not going to be Lucius.
No.
-2.
I have a +4.
There you go.
That sounds
There we
like,
go. That's the best insight.
Yeah, that sounds like our.
Oh yeah.
I'm only +3.
I'm 0.
That was 19.
19.
How Florian is the best insight? What?
You have the
Weird,
highest
right?
wisdom.
Florian, the more you discuss this with her, you determine that Chubb becomes more and more convinced that the threat that you're describing is this hag with a pie shop. She becomes very convinced of this. You're not sure why she's so convinced, though.
I didn't need to make an insight roll for that. Is it because I feel like she's...
If anything, it's because she's probably sincerely very diligent in casting out her divinations to look for just this kind of threats. And this hag seems to be at the very top of her list.
Seeker says, if it turns out that we are looking for the same thing, we know for close to a fact that this creature is a fiend. It has been making pacts with people. It has that ability. Because of that, if it is a hag, then it must be a night hag. That's just what the research we have done insinuates. And because of that, then if that's true, then we would get more information about this creature and be better able to destroy it. So would you be willing to do this investigation for us in the service of destroying this hag that you have told us about, if it turns out to be the same creature?
She says, what further investigations do you believe are necessary?
And Seeker will bring out the monster manual again and describe his reasoning before that if we can determine for a fact that this is a night hag, then it won't have any of these abilities that we have found other hags to have. And it will, because it has this form that you can see when it's invading a dream, someone with true sight would be able to determine that. And Seeker waves in her direction. If you have the means of providing such an ability.
She's being able to look at something through true sight would always reveal the presence of a hag, whatever form that she takes.
Yeah.
We have it on decent authority that the creature we're looking for is living openly under no illusion or magical shapeshifting. Or natural shapeshifting, for that matter.
And what is this authority that you speak of?
And Gus is looking around. He's not going to say anything unless somebody else.
And Seeker says, for the moment, while we're not yet working together, let's just consider them a source.
So mechanically, the true seeing in various spells.
Yeah, so the
You wouldn't be able to use this spell to determine the type of creature. You wouldn't be able
Right,
to
so-
tell a fiend from a from a fae
So it's-
from a celestial.
It's not in the True Sight stat block. It's in the Night Hag stat block.
Mhm.
Night Hags, when they're invading someone's dreams, are visibly straddling the person that they are invading if you have access to the True Sight spell. So since we have a way to make a Night Hag invade someone's dreams, if this person turns out to be a Night Hag, then the spell would reveal them doing so, and we'd be able to see who it was. That's what Seeker's saying. Not like see through their disguise, more use this trickery about the Night Hag ability.
Well, she tells you that under no circumstances has she made contact with this woman in a dream. That would be an excellent way to put herself directly in the line of danger.
Right, we would be doing that.
We've already done that.
You've already done that.
Potentially.
During
If
the
it is
course
a
of
night
our
hag.
investigations, yes.
My understanding is that they.
But
did
you're not adventurers.
No.
This is the
No,
kind...
that was the only lead we had at the time.
And she gets very grandmotherly when she launches into her little lecture. This is exactly the kind of stupid, reckless, and foolhardy action she would expect from a group of soon-to-be TPK'd adventurers.
My lady, you insult us, but I will take it in stride.
I mean, we had safety precautions. They woke me up.
I punched him in the face. It was all good. Did five whole points of damage. Does anybody else work in the meat shop, the pie shop?
Oh, yeah, of course. There are various people, and I mean, she has to source the meat from somewhere, and she's probably got bakers that assist her in serving people. And...
I mean, like she says it's a pie shop that's famous for like a family. Is there anybody that like related to the proprietor that runs the shop with her, or is it just her and her employees?
No, Lady Heffing was an old maid. She was an old lady. She never married. She never had children. She would have been the last of the to carry the family name. What Chubb is telling you is that this woman has been murdered and replaced by this hag.
Okay. All right. Well, I was asking that question more for the sense of like, are we going to go in and fight a coven of hags?
Here's her reservation.
Right.
If for some reason, and she can't fathom what this reason could be, you decide to contact this woman in a dream, use a true seeing ability to determine what kind of hag she is, and decide she's not the kind of hag you're hunting, she feels like if you determine it's the wrong kind of hag, what's your next course of action? Are you going to drop this investigation and let this woman continue to operate in Dunfoss?
No.
Oh no.
No.
No, I mean, we still need to do some independent investigation, but
Like, if this woman is indeed a hag,
yeah, if what you're saying is true, I don't.
We'll
Like-
deal with it.
like, like, this is a thing that, yeah, no, it needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Lady Chubb. You seem to be concerned that this woman represents arguably the greatest threat in Dunfoss right now. Why?
Not by a long shot. The greatest threat in Dunfoss is Singer 10 sales, my boy.
Okay, but you're still very concerned with her.
Are you not concerned with a being of utmost evil taking a foothold inside of our dear city?
You keep saying that, and while there's probably some justification to be concerned, at the moment, she's selling pies from a shop.
They're not bad. Maybe a little dry.
Again, I want to point out, what are the pies made from?
Me,
Our investigations, I'm sure we'll figure that out.
Hold on, back up.
Back up.
Timeout.
Mhm.
Why is Sigurd Tinsel's the greatest threat to the city?
You're
Oh,
at-
please,
you're at-
can we not talk politics?
Can we not?
Guess you're asking that of Chubb directly?
Yeah.
She hates Sigurd Tensails. He is a braggart and a womanizer and would be a terrible king of Dunfoss. He's made 1,001 promises to people too utterly stupid to know that they can't be kept. He has no concept of governance. He has no ties to the Dunfoss lands or surrounding areas. Yeah, she absolutely despises the man and what he stands for.
Right,
She
he's an
thinks
asshole.
He's
Gotcha.
a complete opportunist. He's going to take the wealth, the sweat and blood of the people of Dunfoss for all they're worth, and when he's had his fun, he'll sail away and leave the city in a lurch, in a worse position than when it started.
Halfway during that rant,
Yeah.
Gus is going to gonna whisper, "I'm sorry," to everybody else in the group.
The only bright spot of Sigurd Tensail, she says, is that he's not a supernatural evil entity from another plane. That's the nicest thing she'll say about the man.
Which brings us back to investigating this night hag.
What is the material component of true seeing?
Have you okay? So, I'm assuming that she stumbled upon knowledge of this hag by doing just regular divinations and happened to catch something and didn't get caught herself. That's my reading, and then but has she done any additional looking into it other than this initial thing that she's willing to share? But even if she's not willing to share it, is she willing to confirm that she has done initial further fuel that this? It's not even a suspicion, the certainty that
I'm not sure what you're asking. You're kind of driving around a big question here, but I'm not sure where you're going to park.
Has she done any additional investigation herself into the owner of this pie shop, or was it just the initial, "Oh crap, this is a hag, I better lay low"?
She has.
Not,
She claims to know the thing's true name.
Okay,
Um,
so that was a secondary thing. Okay, gotcha. I was just trying to figure out if this was a one and done oh crap situation, or if she looked into it more than once.
Here's what she can do for you.
Here's what she can
For either Seeker or Florian or Lucius. For 25 gold pieces, she can put together the material components for the True Seeing spell. This is a level 6 spell. This is beyond any of you. But what she can do is waive the gold piece costs of transferring the spell into a scroll. The scroll would be usable by any of the three of you there's an ability check involved because it's above your pay grade right now. This she's willing to do basically to assuage any of your own concerns that what she's saying isn't true. Contact this hag, see that she is what she claims she is. The 25 gold covers the material components of the True Seeing spell.
Right. I think we can make use of that. And Seeker will look at the others.
Mhm.
We find an area relatively close to the hag's workshop. We use this ointment for our own purposes to determine whether or not they can invade the stream. Then, no matter what we find out, we go over to the pie shop and we investigate the woman with it as well. That means we have no chance of backing out of this. Both of us get what we want.
Here's the problem with True Seeing. It has a duration of 1 hour.
Right. Which is why I was saying we need to find somewhere close to the pie shop before we do this.
There a pub or something we can get a room in?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no question. Dream lasts for 8 hours.
8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd have to. I mean, it's not a major problem. It's just some coordination's gonna have to happen to make sure that you actually fall asleep and do this dreaming ritual inside of the duration of true seeing. And yes, you can do this by renting out a room in a hostel or an inn or something in Northgate District. The place is packed with them.
Okay.
She didn't tell us how she came across her true name, did she?
She did
Nope.
not.
And whatever we find out from investigating the woman, we'll come back here, and we will, at that point, I'm sure, be more on brand to find out whatever you have to know in order to make this pact.
Can we have the demon's true name going into this in case we end up in a conflict with her? The hag? Because, it got, like, you know, he raises his hand, you know, and he just kind of gestures at everybody in the group.
Lucius puts a hand on Gustavus' shoulder and then says, Florian, would you care to explain? It is your area of expertise, yes?
Florian, make an Arcana check.
You got it, buddy. I'm gonna make a Arcana check.
Love Arcana.
That is a 17.
17. Does Florian have any specific knowledge of the Feywild?
I came up with a really dumb idea. I'm gonna say
changeling.
I'm gonna say no, not directly,
Okay.
because my idea was too dumb.
Wait, I want to hear the idea.
I think we
It's like,
all
yeah.
want to hear the idea, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got invited by a Fey Spirit to barbecue in the Feywild.
Oh my god.
It's great.
Okay, that is too
Good
dumb.
barbecue.
That's
You're right.
Boyd, isn't there just a? Can't you just walk into the Feywild if you're in Blue Worm? Aren't you from Blue Worm? I am from Blue Worm. Yeah.
Oh man, maybe he did get invited to a barbecue in the Feywild. Oh god.
halfway through the barbecue, Zook shows up with a black dragon.
It's tradition, after all.
Florian, here's what you know as an onomancer, is that true names mean different things for different kinds of creatures. Especially powerful fey creatures, fairy queens and things, the kind of creatures who turn babies into changelings, these kind of things. Which a lot of hags would qualify as. Merely speaking their true name, if you know it, can be dangerous. So Gus asking her, hey, will you give us this name? You would know right off the bat then. It's possible, depending on what kind of hag she is, how old she is, what sort of magics she has, and what sort of magics are woven into her true name, that if Caitlin Chubb speaks it, dangerous things could happen. And for that reason, Chubb won't speak it unless she's sure you guys are on board with destroying this creature.
Right.
So I think we're back to, we'll investigate it, we'll go over there with True Sight, we'll see it. If it turns out to be a hag, like you're saying it will, we'll be back and we'll be on board.
She leans back. Are you guys giving her the gold for this today?
Yeah, I have it with me.
Okay. As she accepts the gold and she leans back, she says, you know, Seeker, you and I have had dealings as of late. I always find our transactions to be profoundly unsatisfying.
Well, Lady Chubb,
Stop saying that, please.
you'll have to forgive me, but it is my supposition right now that I think this was your plan all along.
She says,
Well,
Sir Florian, if you offered me a pile of gold to say whether Florian knows a supposition from a suppository, I would not accept it. Nonetheless, your scroll will be ready tomorrow.
speaking of evil creatures, Caitlin, a politician I once knew told me that in a good negotiation, everyone leaves unhappy.
Is that true? I feel like that just would make everyone unwilling to deal with each other again, unless they had something they actually need.
And Seeker shrugs. The way it was explained to me is that it means that everyone got a little of what they wanted, but not all of it.
But shouldn't you be working to make everyone think they got what they wanted?
It's Seeker winks.
Caitlin wonders how much more of this banal conversation you're going to have in her store. She gets the sense that you guys just talk about this all the
He
time.
starts mixing very violently, getting it ready.
Like, do you guys, like, stop in the middle of dungeons to have these conversations?
Yes, we do.
Where-
It's really annoying.
We're investigators, not adventurers.
For some
Yeah,
reason, she imagines you probably would do the same thing even if you were adventurers. Do
That'd
we
be
know
dumb.
which of you are going to utilize this scroll? Have you made that decision yet?
All right,
Any
so-
wizard or warlock can do it.
Seeker unconsciously assumed it would be him as a divination person, but if someone else has an argument,
Seeker would get no additional benefit.
oh no, I know. I'm just saying Seeker would have assumed he would do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
because Florian wants to try one of them pies. So
Florian, do you want to be the one that goes under for the ritual to contact the hag?
Well, whoever goes under has got to be the one that. No, I guess
Or-
not. Anybody can cast the spell on somebody else. It's got to be a willing creature.
Who has the highest wisdom saving throw?
oh sh.
Oh, you're saying that the person who goes under though is the person who should have True Sight cast on them.
You know what?
Yes.
No.
Because
Whoever
I was
goes-
imagining that it should be anyone but that person.
Yeah, I thought
So-
we were looking for the form of the hag floating over the person as they were unconscious.
Have to withdraw
Yeah, I thought that's
Florian.
what it was.
Florian can't be magically slept.
Oh, right.
Okay, here's the caveat.
Yeah.
If the spell scroll is on your class's spell list, which it is for 3 of you,
Yep.
is of a higher level than you can normally cast, which it is.
Yep.
You must make an ability check using your spellcasting ability, which would be intelligence for 2 of you and charisma for Lucius.
Yep.
The DC is 10 plus the spell's level, so DC is 16 in this case for True Sight.
So, I would recommend myself staying on the awake team simply because I can buff that a little bit. I can buff an ability
I
check.
have a +5 to that for that situation.
Seeker says that he saw himself casting the spell and being successful at it.
I guess that answers the question then.
So, Seeker is using the scroll?
Mhm.
On who?
So the person falling this. I want to make sure that us and the DM have this on agreement.
Right.
So the way that we saw it was, you're supposed to see the spectral form of the hag above the sleeping person's body,
Right.
which means it should be someone other than the person sleeping who uses that.
Right, but the sleeper could be the one that casts True Sight. That
Right,
can be the
okay,
same person
got it,
if
got
you
it, got it,
desire.
got it. So I'm thinking I'm just going to cast it on myself. Who wants to get put under? I think it should be Lucius, as the person who, let's be honest, you're already spoken for. We're not having this conversation in front of Caitlin Chubb. You're already spoken for, Lucius. So I don't think he's going to be able to win you over.
Maybe we'll see.
Also, if they try to do like charisma nonsense, you have definitely have the best charisma saving throw, mechanically speaking.
yeah, no, I do.
So Lucius is going to go under and talk to the flying pig, and the rest of you are going to see if there's a night hag riding him like one of those grocery
Like one of his
store.
French girls.
Right. Okay.
While we do that, do you think what? Maybe we should go ahead and have one person stay with the who's going under, and then have maybe 2 people stay, and then 2 people go to the shop and see if there's any change with the person during that whole escapade.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take our break here because I hear my
Yep.
my little dog
Come
is
on,
out
fine.
there fussing. Let's reconvene about 5 o'clock. When we come back, we'll have all the
Sure.
plan in motion, and we'll be ready to do the thing. Let me go ahead and put Elizabeth on screen, and let's reconvene in 15 minutes.